everybody. Welcome to another episode of our series of Mailbox Power Success Spotlights. My name is Wendy McGee, and I am the Client Relations Director here at Mailbox Power. And I'm so excited today to be joined by Marla Wynn, and she is in charge of business development. She is the point person for business development at her loan office. How am I saying that? Help me, Marla. You introduce yourself to them a little better than that.
Sure. So as you said, my name is Marla Wynn. I am on a team of mortgage professionals, and we operate a branch, a mortgage branch under Neo Home Loans. And I work with my husband, Scott, also a third business partner, Joe Egan, and then we have one processor on our team. We're sort of small, but we're very lean and mean. We've been working together for almost 15 years. And so my role on the team is business development, networking in the community involvement, and our client gifting program.
Okay, I love that. I knew I was going to probably mess up your introduction, but I appreciate you kind of clarifying that. And I think this will be great for people who are watching this, and whether they are already users of Mailbox Power or prospective users kind of checking it out, to hear how you're using it in your business and all of the different things that it can manage for you and that it can do for you. So tell me a little bit about maybe some of the other marketing that you were doing and why you decided to add direct mail marketing. Give me a little history about how this all came about, and then we'll talk about how you're using it.
Okay. Well, hopefully I'm not going back too far. But when we initially started working together, and I came into the business working with my husband after he'd already been in the business for several years, working with his mom, who'd already been in the business for several years before that. So I kind of came into it late, and now it's just his mom is retired. And so now it's just us. But we were always really, really good at finding new clients. And so we had a good business based on finding new clients and new relationships, but we weren't really doing a lot in terms of client retention. We were always a purchase-focused business. We didn't focus a lot on refinance opportunities for our clients. I don't know why we did that. For the longest time, we just felt like there's not a lot of opportunity here, so we just always were going after the new business. And then finally, in about 2014, we decided that we needed to start staying in touch with our current clients more regularly to capture more of those opportunities. So I started doing letters from the heart and evidence of success postcards. And I would do a letter from the heart, and then a postcard, and then a letter from the heart, and then a postcard. So that was kind of like the first initial step into marketing to our past clients. When we started doing that, we saw a huge increase in the amount of business that we did. So we were like, wow, we should continue staying in touch with our past clients.
Yes. Yeah.
Good use of our time. So over time, we kind of built additional steps and replaced some steps. But I think the biggest takeaway from all of this is just that whatever you do it consistently. And the best way to do it consistently is to build systems around what you do. And the more automated you can make those systems, the more consistent you'll be, which will produce better results. So because Mailbox Power gives us the ability to automate so many things that we do, it happens consistently, and we don't have to spend a lot of time and energy on it. We set it up one time, and then it just happens forever. So that's huge.
Okay, I love that. All of the stuff that you're talking about with automations is such a huge part of why business owners choose Mailbox Power. I loved what you said about in your business, you were, doing so much prospecting. You were having, like your focus was mainly on new clients, but then you started nurturing the clients that you had. Tell me more about the letter from the heart. I thought that was awesome.
So it's funny. The very first letter I ever wrote was an apology to our past clients to say, we haven't done a good job of staying in touch in the past. And I apologize for that. We dropped the ball, but here's what we're going to do. And here's our promise going forward. And if somebody's not doing consistent marketing to their past clients, this is a perfect way to introduce it.
I love it.
And you can, through Mailbox Power, especially now, at the time, I don't even know if Mailbox Power was around then. I don't think it was.
It might not be.
So I used a local printer and, did things on my own and sent it to the printer, and they did bulk mail for us because we had like 1,000 past clients. So it was a good sized database. But an apology letter is the perfect way to just set the stage. I apologize. Now we're drawing a line in the sand. We're going to do a better job from here forward. And then just put your systems in place and don't worry about what you haven't done before. And the other thing I'll note is you could only commit to what you can commit to. So don't overcommit and then drop the ball, because then you're going to look bad.
Yes.
So whatever you're going to do, just put the system in place and move forward. So we did letter from the heart, and then I would send an evidence of success postcard the following month. So it was a letter in an envelope, and then the postcard was basically a story about somebody we helped. Like a true story about a family that we had put in a home or something. And an important lesson I learned here is only put out stories that are going to attract the type of business you want, because we sent out a story once of this really difficult loan scenario we had done. And it took so much time and it was so difficult. We were so proud of it. We attracted a lot more of that kind of business. And it was like a little, challenging to do. But those are two ways, honestly, you could use Mailbox Power to do that. I love that you put everybody in the system one time. Their contact record is there. And then you can add them to automations, which we have, or campaigns. And then you can add shipments to those automations. So when you set something up, you don't have to know everything you're going to do. You just need to know like the first few things you're going to do. And then you can add things later. So if you want to do like a 12-month campaign or a 24-month campaign, you can get it started with the first few things and not have to think about what's in the future, and just go in and add those things later, and it will come off. And then no matter where people enter the system, they're going to get the campaign from the beginning, and it's going to run its course. So the personalization is awesome. So I can kind of step you through some of the things we send and all the ways that we use it.
That'd be perfect.
One of the things that we do is we send a thank you card to every client who refers us someone. And that thank you card has a free appraisal coupon on it, because one thing our team does is you'll only pay for your first appraisal, and then every appraisal after that we'll pay for on every transaction that you close with us forever. But you also can gift that to someone else. So anybody in your friends or family. So if you refer us somebody, you're gifting them a free appraisal. So we send them out the card, and that has that certificate on the back of the card. So that certificate actually goes out on every single card we send, because it's a benefit. So every past client sees that on everything.
Yes, right. I love that.
I send out cards if they've inquired about a mortgage for themselves, whether it's for a purchase or an inquiry, like a purchase or a refi, just saying, thank you for thinking of us. Like we appreciate the opportunity to talk with you. I send them out when they write a Google review or any type of online review, or if they just post a rating. I still send it when they post a rating. One of the things that we do when we close a client is they automatically get added to Mailbox Power, because we use Salesforce. So it's a very powerful CRM. I'm sure most people are familiar with it. And then we use a third-party app called Zapier to communicate between Salesforce and Mailbox Power. So when someone closes, their contact automatically gets added to Mailbox Power. They get added to our birthday campaign. That campaign runs forever. As long as they're a client, they get a birthday card that's personalized. And they get personalized brownies on their birthday every year.
Our most popular thing that people send, just to add there, that brownies are probably our number one thing that people send. So continue. That's awesome.
It's so cool because they're very inexpensive, but the fact that they're personalized, like we get a lot of value out of doing that. And a tip here too is, if you're going to take the time to do something, tell people about it. So we not only send the gifts, but then we have our CRM. My husband programs everything. So blessed that he has the skill set. But we send a text on their birthday to say, happy birthday. Hope you have it the best of birthdays. By the way, did you get our gift?
Yes. So smart.
Because then they acknowledge, oh yeah, I did get a gift. That was really nice. But it encourages engagement. And we can reach out to our clients 10 times throughout the year with other information and ask them questions. And we will not get a response until we send the birthday brownies, and then everyone responds. So it's really powerful to have that in our business. But I should back it up for a second, because when people first come into contact with us and let's say they're purchasing a home or doing a refinance.
Right.
Once we have a, huh?
Oh, no, I just said yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I was just listening. Perfect.
Once we have a conditional, well, initially when we do a consultation, we send them a book that my husband wrote about money and how they can take control of their money. So that's our initial gift. But then beyond that, everything we send is through Mailbox Power. So once we have conditional loan approval on their loan, we send them the custom brownies again, saying congratulations. And it comes in the custom box that looks the same with a card that looks the same. So we're setting up the idea that we're giving ahead of getting, because we don't get paid until that loan closes.
Yes.
So we want to make sure that we're kind of standing out and we're giving before we're getting something in return. So that is one of the things that we send automatically at that point. And then they're already in Mailbox Power for later.
For later on. So
Yeah.
Marla, I don't know if you know about this. We just introduced a new feature. So people that are watching this will be able to go ahead and look at this, but the ability to daisy chain on the automation. So as you're mentioning, you have these automations set up. When an automation ends, or if you have people in a certain automation, you can now insert other automations into that same, chain of automations, and then continue to pick up and send something else. Or if you were like, what, we'd really love to add an anniversary of the first time that we met them, or, your home anniversary, or, it's been 5 years, do you want to refinance? You will be able to insert those automations easily, even more easily, into your series of automations. And I'm not a loan officer, I'm not a mortgage broker, but I'm listening to you and thinking you have really, you're maximizing the Mailbox Power system so well. You're using direct mail, the absolute way that we want business owners to use it. And I also can see that you're a very creative person, have a marketing brain. And so you're thinking about, I loved your letter, the fact that you send a letter and you're kind of vulnerable at the beginning and you're like, hey, thanks for being our client. I know you haven't heard from us ever again, but we're correcting that now. We're going to be continuing to contact you. And so all of these things are so excellent. What would be your kind of best advice for someone who's also in the same industry? If they're like, I don't know where to start, would you tell them to start, like you said, with, kind of a letter reaching out? What would be any other advice that you might give them?
I would just go back to commit to only what you can commit to. Don't overcommit. Start small. One of the things that we've learned in our business and in every aspect of our business is if it's worth doing consistently, and you need to build a system around it in order to do it consistently. And then once you have that system put in place, as much as you can automate it, that's already done. Now you can move on to the next thing. So you're building all the things you're doing in your business and you're getting better and better and better and better because you're implementing new things all the time and streamlining it, making it as simple as possible. So just always look for those efficiencies and ways to maybe do what you're doing, but doing it a slightly better and easier way. But yes, I would say an apology goes a long way. And I think clients are grateful to receive that and they're very receptive to it.
Well, and you just continually are opening more doors, I feel like, for your clients. You open the door for, a better relationship with that first introduction letter, that they're like, oh, I remember, Marla and her husband and their mortgage, business. I want to remember them. Oh, I know somebody who is looking for a mortgage. I just got something from Marla. We should refer them. Because I also feel like that when you make that extra effort with your customer, they want to make an extra effort back, that reciprocal thing that happens, especially when you're sending things that are like a birthday, you're just remembering their birthday. Not that many people, amazingly, get a lot of fun things in the mail, right? Like people go to the mailbox and they're getting bills and they're getting, advertisements, and to have something pop up at a random time, like a half birthday, or maybe, a holiday that other people don't send things out for, or especially birthdays, because most of us don't get that many birthday cards if we're not in Mailbox Power. I think that's so smart. So I love this. And I love that you are the point person, for your company, and that you are managing, the strategic gifting, the sending the postcards, doing all of this marketing. This has been a very, very helpful interview. I think anybody that's watching it, especially in the mortgage industry, would be like, okay, that's a blind spot. We're not doing anything like that. We're not nurturing relationships. We're not going back and, talking to our customers that could be, like you said, lifelong customers, refinance, they buy another home. They have, parents that buy a home. They have kids that buy homes. They have the ability to be such great referrals, and you're, building those relationships. So, is there any last piece of advice that you would give to someone watching this interview about using direct mail, or that you would love to add?
I think just if there's anything you think of to stand out, like you can probably create it and make it possible through Mailbox Power. Another way we use it is I have all of our veterans in a special group in Mailbox Power, so that on Veterans Day, I can send them a thank you card for their service. So like the sky is the limit. I think if you, and also I want to say, you don't have to have somebody specific like me in your business who does it, because it's easy enough to do that. Once you get in and you set up the systems, then it really is kind of set it and forget it. Maybe the only thing you have to do is put them in the right automations, but even that can be automatically done, as I said. And I want to clarify something. I do send a gift ahead of closing, and I have to manually put them in Mailbox Power for that. But that's kind of a joint record that I create. And then when that automatically closes, it sends the individual contact records for the birthday campaign. So it's not like I'm duplicating effort. It's completely different.
Completely different.
Yeah.
Well, and I think I love what you just said about, if there's anything that you want to do to stand out, because I interviewed another guest a few weeks ago, and she said, when you send it a text, you don't get a response right away. You immediately think, oh, why didn't they respond? You're on your own timeline with an email, with a text, literally with everything that we send digitally. But when you send mail, you're giving them the time to look at it. They open your birthday card and they spend time looking at it. They open that gift. They spend time thinking about you and about what you've sent them. That's pretty hard to get in today's world. Like, to get somebody's attention for 2 seconds on social media is like almost impossible. To get them to actually like look at something and see it, it's literally, Marla, like you're going to knock on their door and hand them the gift and say, hey, don't forget, I'm thinking about you for your birthday. Or, hey, if you need a mortgage broker or mortgage, like agency to help you, don't forget about us. And so I think it is a really essential part of any marketing campaign. I love how you've emphasized how you use it with your CRM, and how you've integrated that to make it a system. Because busy business owners, right, are watching this. Busy people who have a lot of other things going on. And I agree with you. I have another business outside of my consulting for Mailbox Power, and I have just set up my automations one at a time, added my contacts, started at, and have grown this system too, that I love, and that I get to change up or add to, or, decide I want to send a new product or something new that the company offers. And it's really awesome. So, Marla, anything else that you'd like to add?
Yes, I'm sorry. As you're talking, it just made me remember. So initially when we were sending things bulk mail, right? That was the least expensive way to do it. And by doing that, the only way for us to find out if somebody didn't get what we sent was to have a bulk mail account at the post office, so that they would return the mail to us. And it was very cumbersome and expensive and a pain. But Mailbox Power makes it less expensive for us to send first class mail than we were doing with bulk mail. And when I get something back from somebody, it gives me the opportunity to uncover why we didn't know they moved.
Right.
And to reach back out. So you can use that as a tool to reach back out to people. If their birthday brownies come back,
yes,
or if their card comes back or whatever, you can reach out and say, hey, your card came back. Like, where'd you go? What happened?
How can I? Yes. Well, and Marla, you're going to love this. So a new feature that we just introduced this last Monday is a merge field for QR codes, where when you send a postcard or a letter, anything like how you mentioned, you have that QR code that you put on everything for that free appraisal, for someone, that code. You can add that merge field now, and every time someone scans that, you will actually get a text sent to you that says, so-and-so at this address has scanned your code, and then you could put them into another automation because now you know that they were interested enough to actually look at that. And that could become, another way for you to be able to reach out and say, hey, are you looking for an appraisal? We noticed that you clicked on our link. So check that out. It's in the design section of your Mailbox Power account, but really, really easy to add to any project. But well, Marla, thank you so much for your time today. I so appreciate it. And I know that everyone who has watched this interview will have learned a ton of things and be even more excited to get started using Mailbox Power for their own business. And you're awesome. I appreciate your time. So
Thank you.
if you are watching this interview and you are interested in learning more about Mailbox Power, you can go to mailboxpower.com, learn more there. You can chat with us online. You can sign up for a membership and get started right away. But we are so excited to have you be checking this out and to tell you more about how it's working for so many businesses. Adding strategic gifting, like Marla talked about, postcards, letters, and then automating everything so that it can be a really smart systems in your business. So thank you, Marla. I appreciate your time today.
Yeah, thanks, Wendy.
Hey, have a great rest of your day. See you guys.
Thank you. Bye.